So who's going to be hoisting that Larry O'Brien trophy in 2026? It's the question every single front office, every fan is asking right now. Today we're going to peel back the curtain and break down the strategic futures of the league's most important teams. We'll see who's really built to last and who's just running on fumes.
Here's the game plan. First, we'll lay out the league's new power structure. Then we'll dive into 3 distinct tiers. You've got your favorites, your contenders, and your wild cards. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at what it actually takes to build a champion in today's NBA.
And really, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The league is changing fast, and the old blueprint for building a winner, well, it's getting thrown right out the window. Do you push all your chips in for today, or do you play the long game and build for tomorrow?
To figure this all out, we're not just guessing. We're going to use the same tool the pros use, a SWOT analysis. We're talking strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This gives us a real insider's view of where these teams actually stand.
Okay, let's get right to the top of the mountain, Tier 1. This is where we find 2 teams that feel like they're on a collision course. But here's the crazy part. They could not be more different in how they're built. This is a total clash of philosophies.
On one side, you have the Boston Celtics. They're the champs, and they are doubling down on what got them there. We're calling it the Dynasty defense. And on the other side, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've built an absolute asset empire that's ready to take over.
So you look at Boston, and their strength is just undeniable. You've got the best wing duo in the game with Tatum and Brown, and that gives them a real shot at a dynasty. But, and this is a huge but, that strength comes at an unbelievable price, which leads us right into their biggest weakness.
A luxury tax bill of over $200 million. That's just a mind-boggling number. And under the NBA's tough new rules, it's not just about writing a check. Flying past that second apron like they are essentially puts their roster in a straitjacket. It makes it almost impossible to make trades or sign meaningful free agents. They are locked in with this group for better or worse.
Now, flip the script completely and look at OKC. Their strengths are the total opposite of Boston's. They've got a young MVP candidate in SGA, a fantastic young core around him, and, well, all the draft picks in the world. Their weakness, at the end of the day, it's a small market, which can make it hard to lure big-name free agents and eventually even harder to keep their own guys.
And this number, this is the whole story. More than 15 future first-round picks. That's not just a nice bonus. It's the biggest war chest of assets in the history of the league. It gives their GM, Sam Presti, ultimate flexibility. He can either draft a new wave of talent or package those picks to trade for literally any superstar that becomes available.
All right, let's drop down to Tier 2. These are the contenders. Don't get me wrong, these teams have enough firepower to go all the way, but each of them is staring down a major hurdle that's keeping them from being considered a true favorite.
And here we go again with another fascinating matchup. You've got the Denver Nuggets, led by the best player alive, a proven 3-time MVP. And then you have the New York Knicks, a team that's surging, led by a new star and powered by the biggest market in sports.
For Denver, it's simple. It all starts and ends with Nikola Jokic. As long as he's in his prime, they have a shot. The problem? That championship team they had in 2023, well, pieces have started to chip away, and the West is an absolute gauntlet that's only getting tougher.
So let's be specific here. They've lost key role players that they haven't been able to replace. Jamal Murray's health has been a question mark since his big injury. And being a smaller market, they just don't have the cash to easily rebuild that depth. These little things are what separate them from that top tier.
The Knicks, on the other hand, are riding high. Jalen Brunson has turned into an absolute stud. And, being the biggest show in New York City doesn't hurt. Their weakness, though? They still don't have that one guy, that true top 5 player in the league that history shows you almost always need to win a title. And of course, the shadow of a controversial owner is never too far away.
And man, this number just says it all. Over 50 years since their last championship. That is not just a dry spell. It's a crushing weight of history and expectation that this new group is trying to finally lift off their shoulders.
Okay, on to our final group, Tier 3, the wild cards. And this to me is where things get really fascinating. We're talking about all-time great players and legendary teams who are in a fight they know they can't win, the one against Father Time. You've got the Golden State Warriors trying to gracefully manage the end of an era. And on the other side, the Los Angeles Lakers, who are built completely around the final, amazing chapter of LeBron James's career. It's 2 parallel stories of greatness versus mortality.
With the Warriors, their greatest strength is, of course, Stephen Curry. He can still win you a game all by himself. But the flip side of that coin is that his age has become their biggest weakness. The roster around him is thin, and the threat of a long, dark, post-Curry rebuilding era is becoming very, very real.
He'll be 37. That number right there defines everything for Golden State. Their window to win another title isn't just closing. It's pretty much painted shot. They're in the final moments of what's been one of the most incredible runs we've ever seen.
The Lakers' situation is just as precarious. Their strength is LeBron James, who is still somehow defying age, plus the glamour of the LA market. But their glaring weakness is that they have absolutely no succession plan. What happens when he leaves? The threat of becoming totally irrelevant is staring them right in the face.
Just let that sink in for a second. At 40 years old, the man is still averaging over 23 points per game. It's unbelievable. And that's what makes the Lakers so compelling. Their greatest strength is this timeless superstar, but betting your future on a 40-year-old is also your biggest and riskiest liability.
So after going through all these different teams, what's the big takeaway? It really feels like there are two very distinct and very different paths to the top of the league right now.
So let's put it all together. Here's the final breakdown. In Tier 1, you've got your favorites, Boston and OKC. In Tier 2, your contenders, Denver and New York. And down in Tier 3, you have the wild cards, the Warriors and Lakers, just hoping for one last ride. This is the new hierarchy of the NBA.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. This is the whole Celtics versus Thunder debate boiled down to its essence. In today's NBA, what's more valuable for building a winner that lasts? Is it the certainty of a championship team you have right now, or is it the endless possibility that comes with controlling the future? The answer to that question is going to define the next decade of the league.